Hey guys, here we go into a video on We Fight How We Train with Tank Davis, and we're going to be taking a look at some highlights of his fight with Mario Barrios. But this is the secret to his power. Now, this is the punch shield. What this basically is kind of a mini movable version of the heavy bag, okay? This bag can take a lot of punches, a lot of power, a lot of weight. And you can drive a lot of weight into it because they're usually so solid, right? And this one looks like it's a little like lighter on the inside. Maybe it's a little softer for, I'm not sure. I've never used this brand, this one. But I've seen a few different ones that can be like more hollow, more air-like. So you kind of beat it like a drum. And then I actually personally have the Reyes version, which is basically like, if you guys have seen those dummies that sit on the ground, like the MMA ones, it's just a super padded, dense thing. And I love it. It's so dense. You just hit it. You can just sink all your weight into it. So here, before we describe what Davis is doing in the video, we're going to take a look at some of the punches in the fight and how we can add or think about, see what we're training here, okay? So here Davis is, and we're going to describe what he's doing. He's going to be using these pendulum punches, okay? Now, what is a pendulum punch? A pendulum punch is one that you're going to be stepping into, okay? You're stepping into these punches, and you're creating a momentum, right? A pendulum motion that's going to allow you to add power to your punch. So Tank Davis right here is going to be looking to take a step on his right leg so that he can sink all the way into this heel, and then he can jump out of it and throw this right hand. This is very, very similar to what he was doing on the punch shield, and we're going to be taking a look at that too, and I'll be demonstrating or showing you what I'm talking about. But this is where he gets that power, right? Is from learning to step into his punches and feel and carry his weight into his opponents, okay? Now we're going to take a look at his body shot. Here he practices his body shot too. And what I want you to take a look at is the rhythm of his body, okay? He's going to go forward, backwards, and now when he goes backwards here, right, all his weight comes this way. It's going to allow him to take a tiny little step, right? But all his weight kind of rocks to the back foot. And then as he throws his body shot, he's going to rock into his opponent, okay? Just take a look at the subtle motion. Boom, boom. And now he starts rocking into it. And that allows him to add power to this punch in a very, very short amount of time, a very quick span of time, because this is a technique that he's practiced on the punch shield many, many, many times. Now, that's not the only place that he's practiced it, okay? Of course, he practices it everywhere else too, but this is one of the easiest places to practice it. Now, as we take a look at this big, big left hand here, I want you to, again, pay attention to the fact that he's going to be, when he brings his hand up here, he shifts his head to the back because this natural shoulder motion, right? Body mechanics. Mike Tyson describes this theory as make two punches sound like one. And for my Fouts boxing theory, I talk about the idea of using two punches to sound like one to set up your body mechanics for your most powerful punches. That's one of the ways I teach it on Patreon. If you guys are interested in learning that kind of stuff, there's a whole year's worth of coaching of my students on there, from very beginners to amateurs to medium to pro level fighters. So check it out. Lots and lots of instructions. $10 to sign up, $10 a month. Or if you want personalized coaching, $50 to sign up, $50 a month. And I'll be going through your own video training like this. I'll go through your heavy bag work, your double end bag work, your jump rope, your shadow boxing, and your sparring. And I will teach you how to become the fighter you want to be in as quick as possible, okay? So this motion drives his weight towards the back. His head moves to the back foot, allows him to take this step here. And now he can start easing into that punch, right? Getting his pendulum on, and he can carry his weight through that pendulum motion. And again, he practices this over and over and over again on that punch shield. And now here you go. Here's the signature punch, the one that ends the fight. He's going to be taking that big step in, and we can see that motion, that shift toward the back foot, right? His weight towards this way, his legs taking a step. And now he's going to be stepping into that punch and landing that big uppercut. And we're going to be showing you all of these punches, okay? In just a second. Here we go. So now, here he is, practicing getting his weight on that front foot, okay? So here he is, stepping on that front foot. Now, the only thing he's not doing is jumping with this hook. But that motion is exactly the same. And now, the last punch of the fight, that uppercut. So that's the left hook. Here's the uppercut. Oh, here's the body shot, right? As he learns to step into that body shot, exactly, even though his coach here is not in the correct stance, he's in the punch is exactly the same because it's targeting the same part of his body, right? He has the punch shield on his body, so the mechanics of it are exactly the same, even though the feet will be a little bit different. But he's practicing the punch exactly the same. And now here he is, stepping into that uppercut. Boom. And again, this gives him the opportunity to practice these pendulum punches over and over and over and over again at a frequency and at a rate that sometimes may be harder to do on a heavy bag or in other areas of your training without this kind of effect. And again, also having the one-on-one work with your coach, right, for him to correct your technique or this or that, or say do A, B, C, or D. The punch shield is just one of the most important punch tools that a coach can have in teaching heavy bag work, because again, that's all this is going to wind up being, is translating into the heavy bag, because this is a replacement for the heavy bag. Okay, so they're supposed to take everything that they do here and move it to the heavy bag. Now, real quick, if, for those of you guys that have been part of my channel for a long time, I put up a heavy bag video like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. It was like a 1-minute clip of me just like punching the bag kind of hard. Number one, the bag was way too low for me, way too low, so I couldn't really get my weight into the punches and strike the way that I normally do. But the punches that I was throwing in that bag were the same punches that Davis is practicing here. Okay, they're the ones that you take a big step into, and then you get your pendulum motion to add and layer power into your punches. Okay, that's why the technique is going to be different because of the way that you're practicing and using these punches. You're not going to be transitioning your weight in the most fundamental of ways in crossing the line, because you're looking to take a step and add power in that manner, rather than with what most people would call like perfect striking technique. Again, this is a boxing technique. It is not a striking technique. It is striking, right? But this is specifically a boxing technique, okay? Many other combat sports, you don't really get to use these kinds of techniques, this particular pendulum punching, because of the fact that you'll get kicked in the face, right? So you don't get to do that. You don't always get to layer. You can still set this stuff up in other combat sports as well, of course, right? But a lot of times it'll be something that's kind of unique to boxing because of that regard, but not exclusively, okay? Not exclusively. But we can see him practicing the uppercut that he used to knock him out. Again, taking a step into it. And again, because he works it in this manner and on this bag, he gets to practice this punch over and over and over and over again. And that's why it looks so incredible when he hits him with it. That's why it's such an effective shot. And he's able to just jump into that punch, right? And fly into his pendulum and land such an excellent punch. Again, it's just a heavy bag exercise. Actually, I'll be putting out a video. I'll be demoing with my guy Theo, that we'll be doing some shield work, some punch shield work, and kind of explaining some stuff and kind of teaching you guys how to do that stuff too. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, if you're looking for personalized coaching, check that stuff out, my Patreon. Or say you're the kind of guy that wants to figure it out and do it all yourself. I have other tools and resources. I have Vimeo packages that you can listen to some boxing seminars that'll teach you your very first shadowboxing routine, teach you shadowboxing theory. It'll teach you how to throw all your punches in the correct manner, the easiest way to train all your punches, so that you can create your own routine as well when you're done with the course. And then a pendulum boxing series that will actually teach you the best practice, okay? The best way to really practice these kinds of punches, pendulum punches that really add and layer your technique with speed and power and athleticism. It's a drill series that I created. You'll never find it anywhere else. It's exclusively from Fouts Boxing and from my own personal training. And you can check out the reviews. They're excellent. And these drills will teach you how to add power to your striking, add power to your routines, and it'll teach you the fundamentals of where power comes from, so that you can understand that it's not a gift that you're born with, okay? It's just something that people have trained without necessarily knowing what they're training, okay? There are a lot of very, very unique and interesting ideas that are involved in striking. Anyway, check out the course. The Pendulum Boxing course. It's the Black Belt Boxing program. It will teach you, and there's even a a 1 hour long seminar where I talk about the theory. I teach one of my other fighters how to do the drill. And then I go over some sparring and I talk about all the places in which you will use techniques like this in the safest manners to set up big pendulum stuff, and where to use it, and with one of my Fouts boxing patrons. And then if you are looking for pad work and stuff, I have a 9 pad work series to teach you the fundamentals of positioning. They'll also teach you how to properly use your body mechanics in relation to the punch mitts, but as well as not only to be the one who holds the mitts, but to be the one who punches it, and understanding the rules for both sides, which will not only make you a better pad holder, right, but will make you better at hitting the pads no matter who's holding them for you. You'll be able to get the best workout you can. So anyway, yeah, thanks guys.